is a paid program. Views expressed on this program are not necessarily those of CBS Radio, its sponsors, or affiliates.
Good morning. Welcome to the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show, brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. I'm your host, Harvey Free. We have our whole panel this morning. Alex Nafusi and Harry Glanz.
We're back, buddy.
Morning, guys.
Great fall morning out, Harvey.
Hey, morning people.
Hey, football weather.
All jacked up
It's
today.
great. Stephanie Janica joins us. Hey, Steph, how are you?
Hello, doing great. Thanks for having me back on.
Stephanie did such an awesome job last time. We're glad to have her back today, buddy.
She's an expert negotiator, associate broker, lots of qualifications. This is what I want in a real estate agent. And Stephanie, thanks for coming back. Again, we talk too much, Steph. Sorry, the show's only an hour. We'll sneak in some of your subject matter also. A lot of things going on, of course, gentlemen. October 8th, 2016. Thoughts and prayers for the people battling with that hurricane down south, of course. Hopefully your family members are all right. I don't even know I don't see a ton of coverage on it, but obviously, hopefully everyone is safe and sound down there. I mean, lives are lost and flooding and all that bad stuff. We don't have that here in Michigan, believe it or not. I mean, we do have some bad stuff here, but nothing like that.
You know, when you live in a tropical paradise like that, there are a lot of good things and there are a lot of bad things. And this was the worst storm, what they say, in 88 to 100 years, something like that. It was crazy.
I'm glad you said that, because I was saying the same thing yesterday. That it's beautiful. I mean, that's an outstanding. Florida's an outstanding state.
It is.
It's tough sometimes.
Gotta deal with
it. Prayers to all the people down there.
You know what's great, guys? Mortgage rates still, despite some slower job growth, the modest bump in interest rates still leaves rates at, unbelievable 50-year lows. We're experiencing maybe the highest rates we've had in 2016, but still lower than really where they were about 3 months ago. So December's not too far away. Of course, the possible Fed hike could be in December after the election, although... who knows? A new president could be in there, and holiday season, maybe they won't increase rates.
Listen, we talk about it every day in our office because it's what we do. We know rates are going up. It's just a matter of when they go up. But right now, we're experiencing, here we are, we're in October, and Stephanie can attest to this. The purchase market is still very, very strong. We're seeing a lot of purchase activity, a lot of purchase agreements coming across our desk every single day. It just seems, Stephanie, that the purchase market this year has gone longer than it normally does.
I agree completely. We usually take a little dip in the summertime, and I think we all felt that this year around like July, August, September time, but it has definitely picked back up. I mean, we're still out there. I mean, pounding the pavement. It's busy.
Listen, the weather's nice. Look at it out there today, and we're going to run into our typical fall weather, and I think that you're going to see a strong purchase market through October, maybe at this point in time through mid-November, and that'll carry people through the winter time. Then, of course, winter's going to hit in Michigan, and we all know that no matter how strong a market is in Michigan, purchase activity goes down because the weather hinders that type of activity. But I'm looking for a strong end of the year. Fourth quarter is for Southeast Michigan is going to be very, very strong, and then we'll see what happens next year.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's too bad the buyers don't realize that they could get some great deals in the wintertime. So, yeah, you've got to put up with trucking through the snow for a little bit, but the deals are amazing.
Yeah.
Some of the homes that have been left on the market through the summertime, sometimes these sellers are saying, wait a minute here, I'm not planning on carrying this house. I don't want to pay for 2 furnaces. I'm downsizing now. I don't want that big water bill and heating bill coming.
I'm a buyer. Like I'm looking right now, to be honest with you.
Oh, you're back.
Yeah. No, but I took some time off. I had the situation with that girl that
divorced
moved away, and
yeah.
whatever. Good, God bless, girl. Good luck.
Oh boy!
You did buy that mansion with, right?
No, we didn't. No, but I laid low. I'm a pretty modest guy, and I looked at a house the other day with one of my buddies, Josh Taylor from Skyward. Not to knock on Kelly Williams or anything, but
Stephanie knows you
my
have
crew.
friends.
Yeah,
You have
Stephanie,
friends.
I have friends.
We all have friends.
We looked at this house in Beverly Hills, and James Cameron must have set up the pictures for this house, because the way it looked,
famous director, famous director
from Titanic, and I think Terminator and all that. The house, it looked absolutely amazing. I told Natalie, I'm like, girl, this is the house. We're doing it. I don't care how much it costs. This is what we're buying. And we get there, and there's 40 cars outside. And I'm like, what am I? What?
Do you know what that tells me, Alex? That tells me it's been marketed properly.
No,
Priced really well.
Right.
It's priced.
Isn't that the job of a realtor? Is to make that house look as good as it can possibly look?
Get as many people over there as possible.
They did. They did a great job marketing it. Unfortunately, when you got to the house, the special effects when you see it in person, like R2-D2 and Chewbacca, whatever Was that James Cameron that did that? Or no, who did Star Wars? Spielberg? I don't know. Whatever, it doesn't matter. You get to the house, and I'm like, this is not what I looked at on the internet. Like, it's not what I looked at online.
So, was it priced right?
Oh, George Lucas. Thank you.
Oh, there you go. So, was it priced right?
Well, they did it low. They said they did it right. I mean, and it's a great tactic that the agent did. Is they said we want highest and best, multiple offers by 5 o'clock Sunday, and they had 40 people there. So you knew that it was priced at X, and there were people that you heard numbers floating around. It was 100,000 over what the listing price was.
Wow.
But they knew how to drive the traffic there, and that got everybody excited.
They did a good job.
When you see 40 other people there, you're like, oh my God, there's other buyers that want this house. I want this house now.
Yeah, I think that's a wonderful tactic.
It's great. But
I use the word tactic. It's a wonderful marketing situation.
Yeah,
that's what you want.
They were like families with kids and stuff, and I'm like, this isn't for me. There's kids.
I like that. Well, good.
Sounds good. 248-539-9797. We're going to take your calls all morning long. And again, we are brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. Give us a call. I know we have a full office staff all weekend long. Get that approval letter in your hand. So when you do show up to one of these open houses, you have something in your hand that says, not only did I go to a real mortgage bank, I'm completely approved because they ran my file through, and now I'm basically a cash buyer.
Well, that's what we do. We run it through, and we have our underwriters on staff, and we communicate real well, and that's because it's all we do. We don't do checking accounts, savings accounts, boat loans, car loans. We only do mortgages, so you're going to get the best service. I've got to give some props out to the appraiser community. Sometimes we rail on appraisers, but we do thousands of transactions, and sometimes you run into an appraisal that comes in too low, and then we have to go through what's called a rebuttal process. If you think the property is worth more than it came in at, there is a process that we have to go through. So this week, talking to appraisers and appraisal management companies, they're very communicative now. They're very, very busy now, and they don't want to go back and reappraise properties, and they're taking a look at things in a very, very meticulous way now. We actually got a few appraisals raised. They're doing them quickly, so they're not pulling all the data. They're pulling the majority of the data, but then there's data that Harvey or Alex or a lot of our people come up with that might be better data, so we resubmit it, and then they raise the appraisals. So we've been a little bit successful. I want to give a shout out because oftentimes on this show, we're quick to say, hey, listen, what's wrong with you appraisers? But now I've got to tell you, listen, appraisers are working hard. They're very, very busy now. And it's like we always say about Saturday night at a restaurant. If you're going to a place or a person that's not real busy,
there's a problem.
There's a problem. So on Saturday night, if you walk into a restaurant and it's not real busy and it's Saturday night, guess what? That's the busiest night of the year. You might want to reconsider.
Well, especially what Harry, is you went to a couple seminars, and people across the country are not only doubling the price on these appraisals.
Yeah.
I mean, in other parts of the country, appraisals are $700 to $1,000, and they're taking 6 weeks.
So there are not enough appraisers for all the purchase activity that's going on there, combined with all the refinance activity, because the rates are at historic lows. So what you have now appraisers are setting the market for the pricing that they want to charge. And that's just what's going on. And God help you if you need corrections or recertification or anything on the appraisal.
Harry, as busy it is, and I think it's to your point, partner, that you told the story the other day in our marketing meeting that we have every other week.
Right.
That you had a client that they were taking out some cash, and the loan was $200,000. Right. The house came in at $800,000, and your client was very upset with the value of the appraisal.
Right.
It doesn't matter. Like if you're getting if the deal is working and you're closing your transaction, don't worry about it. Like don't waste time and energy on something that it's a moot point.
Yeah, so you're referring to that, and that's the point. And a lot of times that the transaction, there's the transaction that we do, but then the borrower, the owner of the home, thinks their house is worth more, so they want to argue the value of the house. Well, sometimes for the transaction, you only need a certain value, but then the client will say, but the value is the value. Why didn't they just bring it in where it should be brought in? Now, I can't dispute that, but the bottom line is it works for the transaction. And then they say, well, we're not paying for the appraisal because it's shoddy workmanship. Well, you know what? Then you throw your hands up and you say, hey, listen, I'll do whatever you want me to do. I'll rebut it. I'll go back to the appraiser and say, hey, your house came in at X. Let's see if we can get it to Y. But it doesn't matter to the transaction. Now, a lot of times it does. What happens when it does?
Well, when it does, we got to do the rebuttal.
We got to do the
rebuttal. We have to go through the rebuttal process. But all I'm saying right now are appraisers are very busy. If you're not busy in the mortgage business now, you have to rethink your vocation.
All right. Well, the number of appraisers did drop 22% after the housing crisis. When we come back, we've got tons of information to share with you. Keep it here on 97.1 The Ticket. We'll be right back.
97.1 The next time you're in Vegas, head to the D Las Vegas. It's not on the Strip. It's in downtown Vegas. The odds are better, the party's bigger, and you'll feel right at home. Book your stay today at thed.com. The D Las Vegas, your home for Detroit sports in Vegas.
Hi, Harry Glanz for Capital Mortgage Funding. Rates are at historic lows, and they're not going down to zero. So what are you waiting for? Call 1-800-LOW-RATE and let our award-winning staff help you save money. If you're looking to purchase a new home, refinance your existing home, and you want to save money, call 1-800-LOW-RATE and take advantage of these historic low rates. That's Capital Mortgage Funding, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. What are you waiting for? Call 1-800-LOW-RATE. Capital Mortgage Funding is powered by Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation, NMLS ID number 2289, Equal Housing Lender.
Last Man Standing presents The World According to Mike Baxter.
What happened to men? Men used to build cities just so we could burn them down.
Masculinity.
The only time men should be dancing is when other men are shooting at their feet.
Marriage.
Passion in a relationship is never a good thing.
Competition.
If you're not hurting somebody's feelings, you're losing.
Detroit's own Tim Allen is the last man standing.
College is important. Without college, there would be no college football.
Weeknights at 6 on CW50.
Autumn leaves are falling, and despite what you heard, fall and winter is a great time to sell your home. While most agents are going into an industry-wide seasonal slowdown, our team is ramping up. This is Mark Z at Keller Williams. I don't just guarantee to sell your home in the spring and summer. I guarantee to sell your home in the fall and winter as well. Or I'll buy it, and it's no joke. We agree to a price and a deadline, and if that deadline passes and your home isn't sold, I'll step in and buy it myself.
Get the speed guarantee. Call Mark Z. 888-971-9792.
At Davenport University, our nursing students learn from experts on the latest equipment, like simulation mannequins.
The Sim Lab is really important in providing great bedside care. It's brought together education in the classroom with a hands-on experience. It's very impressive.
I really love all the instructors. Good variety with different teaching methods, so you get exposed to the real world.
Davenport's bachelor's, master's, and practical nursing degree programs are among the state's best, with no waiting list.
We have a very strong clinical program.
It taught me how to deal with my difficult situations. I really feel confident.
The classroom felt like family.
It definitely prepared me for my dream job.
For an outstanding career in nursing or to take your career higher, get to Davenport University and get where the world is going.
Learn more about our nursing degrees by calling 855-DAVENPORT or visit davenport.edu. Classes begin November 2nd.
Feeling like you've missed out on all the home selling and buying action that took place this summer? Well, it's not too late. In fact, it's actually one of the best times to get started. Hi, I'm Realtor Jeff Glover. Right now, we have more homes coming on the market than we've seen in years. And with the market changing, the longer you wait to list your home for sale, the less your home will be worth. But don't just take it from me.
Hi, this is Mike Craig from Brighton, Michigan, and I called Jeff Glover when it was time to sell my house. I heard Jeff's ads on the radio. He got my home in Brighton sold in less than 2 weeks. Jeff got me a great price for my house with no contingencies. That's money in the bank.
Homeowners who sell their homes with Jeff get an average of 98% of their asking price and sell their homes in an average of 23 days. When you hire Jeff and his team, Jeff will personally be involved, whether it's coming out to evaluate your home or marketing your home behind the scenes. Visit Jeff and his team at their newest location in Birmingham or call Jeff at 855-JEFF-SELLS or online at 855jeffsells.com. Realtor Jeff Glover. A household name. Jeff Glover is affiliated with Keller Williams Realty.
Text the ticket anytime, 24/7 at 97136. The Galliana's Van Dyke Dodge Ticket Text. Don't overpay. Get into Galliana's Van Dyke Dodge today.
Any size McDonald's freshly brewed coffee and soft drinks are just $1. Limited time only. Price and participation may vary. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
97.1, The Ticket, where real men come to play.
Alrighty, welcome back to the show. 9:16 if you're just joining us. It's the Hardcore Mortgage Show brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. Give us a call, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker.
It's a ton of money, that's for sure.
We got lots to join here, lots to share with you.
Well, to that call out there, Terry in Grosse Pointe. Terry, you got a question about that transfer tax. What happened?
Well, I filled it out back. I was listening to you guys back in May, and you were mentioning the SRET refund, and I looked it up and filled out all my paperwork, sent it in, I waited my 12 weeks, called. They were saying, well, we're at 14 weeks, and then I waited 14, 16, and it just kept on going. And so finally, mid-September, they're telling me, well, you don't qualify for the refund because of the way, because they're saying my buyer paid the transfer taxes, and it all falls back to the way that my HUD-1 was completed at closing. I closed in 2014, and because of on the second page, my buyer's broker, or my buyer's financing, their original good faith estimate showed them paying the transfer taxes. So when the HUD-1 was completed, that was transferred to my HUD-1, at least on the second page, even though it was corrected on the first page showing that I actually paid the transfer taxes. So
if you paid the transfer tax, then you can get the title company to correct that, and then send your information back to the state. If there's an error on your HUD-1, you could have the title company correct it.
Okay. Well, I mean, the HUD-1 shows the natural correction on the front page already.
Yeah.
It's just the state is ignoring that and basically saying, well, we don't look at that. We look at the second page.
Well, I think you got a case there to definitely get in touch with. You don't want to hire a lawyer and start spending money that way. But I think you should call them and maybe even make a trip to get down and talk to them and get it corrected.
Hey, Terry,
Certainly.
just a question. What's the amount that we're talking about here?
$2,800.
Okay, so I mean, I think that's a significant amount of money. You might want to make some calls and see if somebody can help you out with that. But again, you don't want to spend $2,800 to try to recoup $2,800 unless you're just trying to prove a point. But I don't know if you have any friends that are attorneys that might be able to look at it. And but I think $2,800 in a manner of speaking is worth pursuing.
Let's talk about what it is. Hey, Terry, thanks for the call. Real quick, it's a subject that we brought up earlier. The state of Michigan has agreed to refund families that pay the transfer tax, and they get a refund if they sold their house after 2011 and their SEV was lower when they sold the house versus when they purchased the house. So it's not for everyone. There are some other qualifications, but that's generally the gist of it. And again, if you pay,
what if they walked away? Is that
exactly? We'll get that call next. Hey,
well, it's a fair question. I'm just asking you. I mean, I don't know. I'm not in the.
You won't have a HUD settlement
I'm
statement.
not in the industry of getting transfer taxes back, but I'm just asking, what if somebody walks in their house?
But they don't have a HUD settlement statement, so they don't qualify.
What if they short sell it? They get the money. They get the transfer tax back.
Only if they, potentially.
That's ridiculous.
Yes.
That's ridiculous.
Yes.
That's ridiculous.
Well, that's the loophole. That's the loophole.
That's ridiculous. That's absurd.
Well, that's the whole idea behind of it.
And a short sale, it's crazy.
That's the loophole.
So you can't make the payment on your house, and you owe $100,000. You sell it for $50,000, and you pay transfer tax, and you get money back from the state now.
But Alex, hold on 1 second. How many times does that happen?
A lot.
Nah, I don't think so.
Probably not
short
too many.
sales.
Those people are not going back to get their refund.
The followers get the refund.
They're
Gotcha.
not filing to get their paperwork back because they don't want to draw red flags.
We're going to take 1,000 phone calls right now.
I don't think so.
I hope so.
But we do have some open lines. 248-539-9797. And of course, we brought Stephanie Janica in from Keller Williams. And Steph, I want to dive right into purchases. I took a few calls over the last few weeks, and I still feel like there's not enough knowledge out there being transferred to a lot of the home buyers, and especially our first-time home buyers that, boy, they think that it takes 20% down to buy a house, and it just doesn't.
Not at all. You've got a good point there. And you really want to scope out a good realtor that you're going to be working with, because they're going to walk you through the process. They're going to hook you up with a good lender who can, talk about some different loan programs out there and really just kind of walk you through the whole process of buying a house. Things change over time, and you need to know, all the steps and really what you're in for. The other thing I want to talk, Alex was talking about, he's shopping around for a house right now. He's going there with his buddy who's, a realtor. You want to make sure that you're looking at these houses with your realtor.
You're way better looking than he is, just so you know.
It pays to have buyer representation. If you just go out and you see this house just because, Joe Schmo out there is out there and he's showing it to you just to be nice, you're kind of stuck working with that agent if you like that house and you want to move forward on it.
Okay. Yeah, really good point. So again, getting your agent involved in the transaction ahead of time. Well, a couple suggestions. Again, are there qualified agents out there that are directing people to go to the right mortgage lender? Some are, some aren't. I mean, I see some of these institutions, and again, I took a look at a lady this week who had a 46 back-end ratio, and she was telling me, hey, Harvey, I've got 2 institutions that have given me approval letters. And I said, well, you're maxed out. How can this be? I just think that, again, get more professional people involved in your transaction earlier. Get that approval letter. And if you don't think you're 100% confident, call the folks at Capital Mortgage Funding. We gladly will take a look at any transaction presented to you. If it's a great offer, we'll gladly tell you. And if we could save you some money, we'll show you the way.
How can you go out looking for a house if you don't know if you can afford the house?
Oh, it's
How do you do that?
Well, that's the great part too.
Explain it
Is
to me.
you've got some mortgage companies that will basically just print off approval letters,
Yeah.
and they're not legitimate.
So then what happens is that somebody goes out shopping. They have this bogus approval letter. They go out shopping. They find a house. You as a realtor put in an offer. They go down 4 weeks of mortgage hell. And then all of a sudden at the end of the transaction, the mortgage company says, what, you don't qualify?
Yeah. Now you've got two families that
That's
are up
great.
in the air. And
It's still going on here in 2016. It's actually mind-boggling.
It's
I said,
unfathomable to me.
And again, this particular person said she had 2 approval letters, yet her back-end ratio was 46%. And I was just like, what do you mean? And even if she could get approved and it was a 45% back-end ratio, she'd be completely maxed out. And here's a person getting closer to retirement. I mean, there's Social Security income. And it's just bizarre out there that families are not talking to the right people. And
Well,
again,
that's why you really have to sit down with somebody. If you're that close, you really need to have a plan and sit down with somebody and plan this all out. And you know what, Harvey? I'm not telling you that we can't get people approved with a 46 back-end ratio. You can, depending on other compensating factors.
Exactly.
But the bottom line is you have to sit down with somebody and plan this out and say, this is the next 10, 15, 20 years of your life. What do you want to do?
Right. More professional people involved. It's been a great week. I'll tell you, there's a lot of buyers out there, and you got some buyers have done this 1 or 2 times already. Some of the families out there are new to the whole process. I say, hey, get us involved. You're more than welcome to sit down with us at any time. And again, if you're already working with qualified mortgage people that have been around a long time, then you should be in great shape. But just call us if you want to run it by us. All right, 248-539-9797. Tons of topics to get to. We'll take a call out there. Rick in Grosse Pointe. Good morning, Rick. You're live on the ticket.
Hi, I was calling about the question regarding the refund of transfer taxes in a short sale.
Yep.
Almost every short sale approval letter, in fact, I would argue that every short sale approval letter has language that specifically states that the seller cannot receive any proceeds from the sale, which would include a refund of the transfer taxes if applied for under Exemption U. I know that there are solicitations out there from attorneys seeking to do that. I would advise anyone who did a short sale that they would be violating the terms of their approval letter if they did that.
I agree with that.
So that's good. So there's all-inclusive language that any type of refund is not going to happen on a short sale, correct?
Yeah, but what specifically the language would say, any proceeds, whether proceeds be from side sale of, personal property, anything, any proceeds received. Now, I'm not going to say, I can't tell you what every situation would happen, but I can tell you in this situation specifically, you would be violating the terms of your short sale approval letter if you're a seller and you seek that refund and obtain it. Now, if you obtain it and send it to the bank, which is, of course, not likely to happen, you're fine. But if you keep that money, you have a problem.
Good. So, Rick, are you an attorney?
I am.
Good. I love that because I'm not an attorney and I don't play one on the radio. So the all-inclusive language would be any proceeds. That's the term that you want to see in those things. Any proceeds net back to the seller. Cannot happen.
Even 3 years later.
Anyone considering this would simply refer back to their approval letters, and they can look right in there. Now, if somehow that provision isn't in there, and I've done thousands of short sales.
Love it.
But if it somehow isn't in that approval letter, then I would say seller's free to do that. But it would be very, very surprising if language like that was not in the approval letter.
That's a great point, Rick.
That's music to our ears. I know Alex Nafusi is very happy to hear that.
Hey, Rick, thanks for the
That's how
call.
it should be.
We really appreciate that call.
Great call.
Awesome stuff, Rick.
No problem.
Thanks,
care.
Rick.
Thank you again. Hey, we got some professionals that listen to the show, and that's what really makes it solid out there.
Well,
Great information.
And I think, like we were talking about before, I don't think, we could sit here and say, generally speaking, because we see a lot of purchase agreements and a lot of closing docs. We do closing docs. And I don't recall seeing any proceeds ever going back on a short sale to a seller. So Rick calls, he confirms that there's language in most, we can't say all, but all the ones that he does, he puts in there specific language to no proceeds back to the seller. And I think that's
the way it should be.
And that goes to what Alex is saying, and that's the tone that Alex tries to set. Why should somebody have an advantage of getting money back when they're selling their house on a short sale?
I mean, here's the thing.
And Rick confirmed it. I love it.
I mean, here's the thing. I mean, 2008, 9, 10, 11. Dude, I mean, it was
Crazy
really
stuff.
tough around here. I mean, it was
Crazy.
bad. I I would talk to like grown men, like dudes that are married that have like 2 or 3 kids that lost their job, and they're like, I can't afford the house anymore. Like I was working overtime and it got cut and this and that, and it was really tough. And then there's I want to hug these guys. I do. It was really tough. And there's the other side, the people that are like, well, I bought the house for $100,000. I owe $200,000 right now. I'm like, whoa, time out. So you took out $100,000 and bought 4-wheelers and jet skis and, and paid off credit card debt because you went to Cabo and all that. And, and then there were those short sellers. How are you going to seriously short sell your house after you spent all this $100,000 of the bank's money and then actually go back to the state of Michigan and say, hey, I want my $1,200 back for transfer tax?
248-539-9797. We have open lines. We're going to get to Scott when we come back and all of your calls. Keep it here on 97.1 The Ticket.
97.1 Hello, human. This is a Mountain Dew ad, and we're about to crank things up in this booth. For starters, I don't like my voice. Let's change it. You, get in here.
All right. Somebody, hand me some maracas. That's it. Do guy, drop a beat.
How's this?
Mountain Doodly-doo, yeah. HR department, start chanting. I just got goosies. Keep it going. Lady in the corner, what do? Terrifying. I love it. Wizard, summon a storm. Toss in a bucket of snakes. It's like a freaky spa here. Jim, smack yourself with a fish. It's the most beautiful sound that has ever been. If you've got a mouth and a brain, crack open a Mountain Dew and reward your gullet with that bold citrus kick. Until next time, do the dew.
Unleash a refreshing citrus kick with Mountain Dew. Visit a store near you and pick up all your favorite Mountain Dew products. Mountain Dew exhilarates and quenches with its one-of-a-kind great taste. Mountain Dew. Do the dew.
Does this sound familiar? You're about to get intimate with someone, and then nothing. You can't do it. Male performance issues are devastating and embarrassing. And who are you going to talk to? Your friends? Your wife? Your dad? So you suffer alone. This is a common story for half of men, but it doesn't have to be. Talk to Boston Medical Group. Men, if you have performance issues, then you need to call Boston Medical Group. They've helped thousands of men just like you, and their treatment is 98% effective, even for men who can't take prescription medications like Viagra or Cialis. You'll receive a personalized blend of FDA-approved medications formulated to treat performance problems, and their medications work in minutes. They're so confident if you don't see results with the very first treatment, you pay nothing. So one phone call, one very professional visit, and you could be enjoying romance again. Stop suffering. Call now. 800-885-5454. That's 800-885-5454. 800-885-5454.
Save up to 65% store-wide at the ABC Warehouse October Festival of Savings going on now. You won't find better deals anywhere else. This week, get a factory-renewed and guaranteed LED 1080p 60-inch TV for just $388. And an Amana Super Capacity washer is only $277. ABC Warehouse is the appliance giant. See the entire sale ad at abcwarehouse.com. The deals are always in the house. ABC Warehouse, the closest thing to wholesale.
Max and Caroline on Two Broke Girls. Serve up the laughs. Order up.
We're gonna have to do it the hard way. Slow and steady. The tortoise and the whore. Well, what can I say, Caramel? By the way, that's your whore name.
Order up.
You do that, Cinnamon. Oh no, I actually have a whore name and that's not it. What is it? Max, duh.
Two Broke Girls. Watch Two Broke Girls. Weeknights at 7:30 on CW50.
How's your 2017 healthcare budget going to look? Saving money on employee benefits would make that bottom line a whole lot better. That's where Dynamic Human Resources can help. Dynamic HR, with its partnership with Priority Health, can help you contain your healthcare costs and navigate healthcare reform. Put Dynamic HR and Priority Health's experience to work for your bottom line. Don't just settle. Consider a better alternative. Get started at dynamichr.com. dynamichr.com.
Football season is here. Get your cheer on with extraordinary food from Capriati's. Line up the best tasting subs with Capriati's by placing an order online at Capriati's.com. Maybe you prefer hot subs like the Capastrami, a fan favorite loaded with pastrami, coleslaw, melted Swiss, and Russian dressing. Capriati's does cheesesteaks too, award-winning and grilled your way. Football season and Capriati's, a winning combination. Big Beaver east of Livernois in Troy and Woodward north of 12 Mile and Royal Oak. Order online at Capriati's.com. Gander Mountain knows firearms and how to save you money. Check out America's largest firearms selection today at Gander Mountain, America's Firearms Supercenter.
A young woman's body, a vanished war hero, an actor's stunning story.
Yes, I saw the body. Is that what you want to hear?
48 Hours, tonight on CBS.
sports news all day, every day. This is 97.1 The Ticket.
Brought to you by Mercedes-Benz of Novi. Michigan football today at AM 950 WWJ. Number 4, Michigan visiting Rutgers. Wolverines 5-0 overall, 2-0 in the Big Ten. Rutgers 2-3 overall and winless in the conference. In East Lansing today, Michigan State at home against Brigham Young University. Last night in college football, number 3 Clemson all over Boston College, 56-10. Major League Baseball Division Playoff Series, Cleveland and Toronto both take a 2-0 series lead. Cleveland beats the Red Sox 6-0. It was Toronto 5-3 over the Rangers in Texas in the National League. Washington losing to the Dodgers 4-3. Chicago edging San Francisco 1-0 in those series openers. Preseason hockey, Red Wings go to 5-1-1 in the preseason, beating Toronto 2-1. Wings hosting Toronto tonight at the Joe. At Ticket Update Desk, I'm Jeff Lesson. For more, 97.1 theticket.com.
Every day is game day here.
97.1 The Ticket.
Welcome back to the show, 932. It's the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. That's right, call us at Capital, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. Here's what you'll get. Low rates, low closing costs, professional service. I closed one in 25 days this week, another one in 28. You want to get your deal done, you want to call Capital Mortgage, save a ton of money and deal with the experts. I'm telling you, folks, after all these years of coming on the show and do it, just give us a try. You're going to save money. That's the easy part. We have so much to share with you. And again, we brought a professional real estate agent, associate broker, Stephanie Janiga from the Keller Williams office out in Novi. So again, if you're a buyer or seller, definitely get in contact with us. Tons of information. This is going to keep money in your pocket, and that's the key. Hey, let's move off to Scott in Dearborn. Scott, you got a question about a loan mod. Go ahead, sir.
Hey, good morning. Harvey, you did my original loan 2009. It was a great experience.
Oh, I appreciate that. Thanks, Scott.
2014 went down in income and inquired about doing a remodification. So I did a remodification on my loan. I'm looking to sell now, to move, and I'm wondering what I'm going to face with the remod that I did, or the difficulties, hurdles.
When did you do it? What was the date of the remod or the mod? It's called, the modification.
May of 14.
May of 14.
There could be language in there that specifies, you know, you might. I don't.
My
Those
concern,
are tough, man. I mean, go ahead.
My concern is going to be the paperwork. All the mods that we're seeing are just a little bit different. Some of them have back-ended balances that are going to be added on to the transaction or to your payoff.
That's what mine is.
Okay.
They basically took a $70,000 loan, took off $20,000, and based my loan upon 50.
Well, how are you going to buy a new house then?
Well, I mean, the home is worth at least that.
Yeah. What are they selling for, Scott? How much are they selling for now?
I mean, how reliable is Zillow?
Well,
not very.
You know what I'll do for you, Scott? We'll even take it a step further. I'll get you a professional real estate agent. I'll have one of the agents, including Stephanie, who's here. We can give you a call after the show and just get some information about the house. Stephanie, there's no charge at all. She'll run all the comparable sales for in your neighborhood. We'll get a really good feel of what that's going to sell for.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I can take a good look at the numbers and see what the true value is on it right now, what you could get out of it. And also see what you owe on the back end. I think that's the biggest question there is how much they actually tacked on the back end. Because they'll throw fees and everything on there as well.
Yeah, Scott, we're going to want to get a payoff letter, and we want to see what your loan mod documents say. Is that all right?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, good. So get us the documents, the loan mod. We'll get a payoff letter. We'll hook you up with Stephanie, and then we'll put the whole transaction together for you, and we'll see how much more going forward we have to do.
Okay, I appreciate it.
Thanks for the
sounds
call,
like a good
Scott.
plan.
All right, definitely appreciate the call. And if you want to come back to me, you're going to save a ton of money. As always, I've done lots of mortgages recently for families that have had modifications. Again, if they have the equity and they're able to pay it off, once again, families came upon hard times.
But that's the key. It's all going to depend on what the documentation says in his loan modification program. Okay? I mean, if you have an issue, you get a loan mod, but guess what? That $20,000 just doesn't dissipate. It just doesn't go away. Right, it's on the back end, and when you sell the house, chances are it's going to be in that payoff letter.
Somebody's paying for it.
Yeah, I mean, guys, they tacked $20,000 on the back end on the loan.
Of course,
it was 2 years ago.
Right,
and now you want a bigger house.
So we're going to take a look at it. Well, it's one of our
downsizing from 50,000.
I don't know.
He's downsizing from 50 grand.
Take a look at it.
You never know. Hey, supply and demand, Steph, that's definitely what's always going on out there. The current supply levels are at 4.7 months. Hey, when we had the housing crisis that caused all these trouble, the housing supply was between like 12 and 14 months.
We were over a year, over a year in supply of inventory.
Where are we now? We have 4.5 months now? Where are we?
Yep, we're right around 4 months, and which is great. That's still considered a seller's market. So it's still good. It's still moving.
Well, if we have a 4.5 month supply right now going into the wintertime, I still think that's pretty good.
Very good.
I think it's good.
All right, we got tons to share with you. Again, if you keep it here on 97.1 The Ticket, give us a phone call, 248-539-9797. Always want to dive back into refinancing. It's been unbelievable with these rates over the last 5-6 years. Great opportunities for families. One of the things now we're really seeing is the families that have already refinanced in the past 4 or 5 years, they're coming back. If they didn't already drop their term, they're dropping it now. Again, back in, it was about July, August, when there was a little bit of more of a break. Interest rates went to all-time lows one more time. We're still hovering around these all-time lows. And the opportunities out there to consolidate your first and second mortgage are great. And also to take that mortgage and drop it down to a 15-year fix. Harry, usually most families are spending $250 to $450 more when they drop from like a 30-year amortization to a 15-year. It's a lot of money.
Well,
but it saves you a ton of money.
But here's the thing. If somebody's goal and objective is they're going to be in that house for another 10 or 15 years, and then you drop it from a 30 to a 15, all right, that's a pretty solid plan. And why should they pay that interest? Why should they continue to pay that interest on a 30-year fix if they're going to be there for a while and they want to pay the loan off? Because as we say, really the goal of a mortgage when you first take out a mortgage when you're young and you're going to be there, is to pay the loan off. However, if you're getting older and you need the cash flow and you're not necessarily worried about paying off your house, then you go to a 30-year amortization because you need the monthly cash flow. So it just depends on a family's and somebody's goal and objective and what they want to do. If you want to pay off the loan, you could save a tremendous hundreds of thousands of dollars in interest if you shorten that term from a 30 to a 15 or from a 30 to a 20. Okay, so there are a lot of advantages, and that's why when you sit down with somebody and you talk to them and you find out what their long-term plan is, you customize a mortgage plan for them and you use their mortgage as a financial tool to help them out. Not necessarily to pull all the equity out, do equity stripping and just go out and, like Alex likes to say, buy jet skis and boats and just, lay it down on green on roulette, right?
It's pointless. That was fun. That was good, man.
Also, see, I thought I was going to say black or red.
Let's
green.
That was aggressive, man.
Green's the house number. That's right.
That was aggressive.
Along those same lines, is definitely a lot of families out there have done the renovations over the last couple of years. So now you've renovated your home, values have gone up, and a lot of families, not only can you reduce your interest rate, you might be able to get rid of that PMI that you're paying. Or did you do a lender pay PMI program?
And you can lower the rate.
Yeah, and you could still lower that interest rate. So again, lots of reasons out there to take a look at refinancing and take advantage of it.
There are things that we can do to save you money, and that's the key. If it doesn't save somebody money, then why do it?
Well, you were talking about going to a 15-year. A lot of people are on 30 years, and let's say you're in the mid-4s, and, the 15-year rates right now, again, I'm not quoting rates, but, let's just say they're in the high 2s, low 3s, just for the sake of this analogy. If your payment's going to go up $200 a month, I can save you $200 a month on miscellaneous BS you don't even think about. I mean, there's so many things that myself included, there's so many things I waste money on every single month.
It's not me. You just need to waste some on me, though.
Well, I take care of you.
How about a birthday gift?
Oh, I forgot your birthday. You turned 50 a few weeks ago.
I forgot Christmas for you a few years ago.
Yeah,
Is that your revenge?
Harvey called off Christmas, but in any event, like if you look at if I see your bank statements and I see where money's going out, I can save you $200 a month on cell phone bills, Comcast, DTE. I mean, anything that you spend money on a regular basis. There's so many little things. If you save $15 a month on, whatever 10, expenses, there's your $1.50 right there.
They joke about the coffee shops, but right, it's $3 or $4 a coffee or a fancy latte or something.
And you know what? If mortgage rates are in the low 3s, all right, and you're not going to get a low 3 return if you put the money in a savings account. So if you go ahead and you take extra money, in other words, you take a a lower rate with less of a term, and you have to make a higher mortgage payment, you're really saving money because you're getting a 3.25%, 3% return on your investment when you make the mortgage payment.
All right, I want to dive into something else. A couple things of note here. Again, property taxes were due in most cities around here on September 14th. If you didn't pay your summer tax bill, definitely give us a phone call. A refinance will handle that for you. And many families that are trouble paying their property taxes, now would be a great time to set up an escrow account. So when we come back, we'll dive into that a little bit and all of your calls.
Come to U.S. Auto Parts of Sterling Heights and pull your own parts. Oh, wait, that doesn't sound right. A little work saves you big money on auto parts at U.S. Auto Parts of Sterling Heights, the largest self-serve salvage yard in Macomb County. Yeah, that's better. 18 and a half west of Van Dyke. USAutoSterlingHeights.com.
Hey, business owners. You ever wonder how you can save money while making your business more energy efficient? Well, Rosanna from DTE Energy is here to tell us how. Hi there.
Hello.
So, how can a small business learn to save?
Well, DTE offers a lot of online tips, rebates, and cash incentives that can help improve their energy efficiency.
That sounds great.
We also consult with customers to teach them about specific changes they can make to help manage their energy usage.
Oh, so real-life people have already done this?
Oh, yeah. In fact, take one of our customers, John from Florentine Pizzeria Ristorante. He was able to make many small changes that really added up to savings. I'll let him tell you.
DTE has taught me so many things. Since working with them, we've installed a programmable thermostat, LED lighting, sink aerators, and a pre-rinse spray valve for the kitchen sink. I'm actually saving about 10% on my energy bill every month.
I bet you also make one tasty pie.
Our customers really seem to think so.
To learn more about how your business can save, visit DTEEnergy.com/save now. DTE Energy. Know your own power.
Policies issued by American General Life Insurance Company, Houston, Texas. Not available in all states. For details, visit AIGdirect.com.
Do you have a family? Would you like to help make sure they'll be taken care of if anything were to happen to you? If you answered yes, you probably need life insurance. Now, do you think life insurance is expensive? If you answered yes to that too, you definitely need to give AIG Direct a call. We could find you a $250,000 policy for just $14 a month, which means you could save hundreds of dollars a year. Call us now for a free, no-obligation quote. 1-800-600-4850. Since 1995, we've helped millions of people find out if they could save up to 70% on their term life insurance. See how affordably we can help you protect your family. Call AIG Direct now for your free quote. 1-800-600-4850. You could save up to 70%. That's 1-800-600-4850. 1-800-600-4850.
Outdoor grilling season may be coming to an end, but grilling season never ends at Bucharest Grill. Stop by Bucharest Grill, home of the best shawarmas in Detroit. Bucharest Grill, great food and affordable. Stop by for lunch or dinner. 2684 Jefferson near Shane, 1623 Michigan Avenue in Corktown, or 110 Piquette in the New Center area. All three Bucharest Grill locations feature plenty of free parking and the same great original recipes that earned Bucharest Grill Best Carryout, Best Late Night Food from Our Detroit Magazine, and Best Shawarma from Metro Times. 5 years in a row. Heading downtown for a game or just to hang out? Treat yourself to Bucharest Grill. And Bucharest Grill delivers to downtown Detroit. Call 313-965-3111 or log on to BucharestGrill.com. Bucharest Grill, great food and very affordable. Open 7 days a week at Jefferson and Shane, Michigan Avenue in Corktown, and Piquette in the New Center area. 313-965-3111.
Great savings are on now at the LL Bean store at the mall at Partridge Creek. Save 20% when you spend $50 or more. Now through Tuesday, October 11th. It's the perfect time to stock up on outerwear, slippers, flannel, and more. Or get a head start on your holiday shopping. This limited time offer ends Tuesday, October 11th. So get to LL Bean at the mall at Partridge Creek and save 20% when you spend $50 or more. Visit llbean.com/stores for directions and details.
It's Detroit's official tailgate party, and you're invited. Game Day Uncensored. Tomorrow, broadcasting from the patio at Hockeytown Cafe on Woodward. Pat Caputo and Calvin Pritchett start the broadcast at 9. Then at 11, Game Day Uncensored with Mike Valenti. The first 97 people get a Game Day Uncensored t-shirt. The Ticket Chicks will be on their ATV hitting tailgate parties throughout the D. Game Day Uncensored. Tomorrow at Hockeytown Cafe.
In 5 days, the farewell season at the Joe begins. On your home for Red Wings hockey. 97.1, The Ticket.
All right, welcome back to the show, 946. I promise you, folks, we don't read these ticket texts, so don't even send them. I wouldn't even tell Adam those mean things you said about him. But anyways, we are the Hardcore Mortgage Show, brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding.
Hey, that's not true.
Were they bad?
That's not true. That's not true. Brian just sent us in a nice one.
Yeah, hey, thanks, Brian.
Brian, we like Brian. Good job, Brian. Go green.
Hey,
Tell
listen,
Cam I said hi.
If you're listening, call Capital Mortgage Funding at 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. Also, you can check us out on Facebook. Hey, friend us on Facebook. I even set my own personal one recently, but check it out, the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show.
Harvey friends himself, and he likes himself on Facebook. Yes, he does. He friends himself.
10 years after the fact,
Right,
he's
it's
just
unbelievable.
now
Right,
setting
right.
up a Facebook
Right now,
page.
Harvey, you can only like your posts once. You can't. You can't like your posts multiple times.
Hey, that's why Harvey's good on the radio. He has a face for radio.
Oh, boy.
He's good like that.
Oh, boy, oh, boy. I'm going to dive in. Refinance. What were you talking about? Steph, I said I wanted to talk about purchases. We have been speaking to more and more. It's interesting. As we're working with the buyers, lately we've been speaking to more and more of the sellers because sellers out there, before they want to ink the dotted line on that purchase agreement, they want to make sure they're going to find a house that's going to fit their needs. And that's been coming up more and more often lately.
The majority of the transactions I'm in right now have some sort of contingency tied to them. Yes, people are nervous that, okay, I can sell my house now, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to find one because, inventory is a little low still. So that's very common. That's what we're dealing with a lot right now. Just deals tied to another deal, tied to another deal.
Really? So you're taking a lot. So sellers are taking purchase agreements on contingencies of selling what? Of the
purchaser needing to sell their property.
Okay.
Or here's a different one I just came across. This one wanted, here we're buying the seller's property and they wanted a contingency that they could go find one.
Interesting.
Right. So it gives them, and again, you can put that in the purchase agreement that we can give them. In other words, a purchaser could say, look, I want your house badly, and if you can't move out right away, fine, I'll give you 60 days occupancy. That's the max by law. It's going to be written on the purchase agreement. But that is what it's allowable. So after closing, they can stay up to 60 days. It really gives you, after you ink a purchase agreement, figuring 30 to 45 days to close. I mean, you're talking about almost 4 months to go find another house. Isn't that enough time?
Plenty of time there, actually.
But you would think if somebody lists their house on the market, they already have a plan where they want to live, what they're looking for. So, I mean, again, you're right. You would think that. But I know that's not happening because I'll tell you what, when I sold one of my houses, I had nowhere to go. I just wanted to sell the house because at that time it was tougher to sell a house than to find a house. That's not the case now.
No, right now it's a little bit easier to sell than it is to purchase. Or I've had people that said, well, we saw 2 houses that we really liked. We would have made an offer on them, but we didn't have our house sold yet.
But it's not unusual that people are going to sell a house now, then they're going to move into an interim place. They're going to go rent an apartment until they find a house. There's nothing wrong with that. If you get the price, if there's a seller that lists the house and they get their price, and nobody wants to move twice, but if you get the price, it might be worth it.
Absolutely. I've got somebody right now that said they're okay with selling and going into an apartment for a little bit. And I said, you know what? That's actually kind of the best situation
I agree with
honestly.
That. No question.
You don't have that pressure of, oh my God, I got to find a house right now and make a decision. And now she gets a little bit of breathing room to actually go out there and kind of find a deal.
You can buy a furnished apartment to a furnished place, right? Just,
there's
for a few months just until you find a spot.
Yeah, you're going to have to take and put your stuff in storage. Okay, then you go in the apartment and it's an interim place. So you move there for 2, 3, 4 months, whatever it is. And the key is, though, you have to get what you really want on the selling end to make it worth your while.
Hey, guys, I want to jump in here. We have some open lines. Come and join the show. 248-539-9797. I'd like to hear from you if you're buying or selling a house. Again, we continue the conversation about buying and selling and setting up these proper strategies so that you're very successful with it. Sort of circle back to the appraisers that we were talking about earlier. Yeah, there's a lack of qualified appraisers because so many of them had dropped out of the industry back when the housing crisis hit. What they're saying now is that 60% of the appraisers are over 50 years old, and some of the delays are caused because of the regulations that they have. Years ago, they would send an apprentice out to take pictures and do some of the hard labor job. That's not allowed anymore. So again, that industry has changed completely. But something that just popped back into our world is property inspection waivers.
Oh, don't say that.
So I don't want to throw it out there.
No, that's a good thing.
Yeah, well, it might be a good thing for some families. Let's just take a rough thing. Property inspection waivers, you're going to do a refinance transaction or even a purchase. And because the loan to value is so low, meaning that, let's say, a $200,000 house and it's going to be a $100,000 mortgage, a lot of times a strong borrower, the information's inputted into the system and it comes back and it says, you know what, we're good. We don't need to send a traditional appraiser to the house. We're very comfortable loaning at this loan to value for somebody that's generally always paid on time. they're not going to have any problems. So just something that's creeping back into the industry a little bit, some ease out there, and potentially some savings for families that have very low loan to values. All right, it's worth a conversation. And again, if you want to talk about any of these subjects, 248-539-9797. Let's move off to Rick in Canton. Good morning, Rick. You're live on the ticket.
Oh, Rick, you're
Okay,
my
Rick?
feelings hung up on me, man.
Oh, that's okay. Well, we kept him there a little longer.
Well, he was on hold for a minute and 45 seconds. So.
That was it.
Sorry,
that
dude.
wasn't that bad.
Wow. All right.
All right. So, do you guys want to dive into?
I want to dive into the PIW, the Property Inspection Labor, Harvey. You're going to.
Why were you making a face where you were like kind of?
I don't believe that I'm in favor of it in general. I believe that it's a 1 out of 1,000 type of situation where it has to be a very low LTV and it should be done on refi transactions only and not purchase transactions. Because, okay, so if you're lending, using Harvey's example, it's a $200,000 house.
Right.
And it's a $100,000 loan, then it's a 50 loan to value. And if the credit's good, then that's fine.
Right.
I understand that.
And it's a rate and term transaction.
And it's a rate and term refi. I understand that. Okay, but again, somebody who's been in this business a long time and extremely conservative about the way we lend, not that we won't do certain things for certain people based on the strength of a borrower, I like to look at appraisals. I need appraisals. I need to see what that property is all about. I want to check it out.
I mean, I totally dig where you're coming from, like 100%. Because like this industry in like financials is itself, people can't get out of their own way. People, they've already forgotten 8 years ago. Like, people forgot 2008. They might as well have been like 1950. Like, it's done.
And I'm so over the fact that people can go ahead and they're going to find an appraiser. I'm glad that there are the appraisers the way they are now. Appraisers are independent now. They're licensed, they're bonded, they're insured, and they have to bear a lot of the responsibility. And that's why they're extremely conservative. They're taking a long time. And that's why you see appraisers, the average age of an appraiser, Harvey said, was 52 or over 50.
Over 50, yeah, 60%.
Okay. We need to see new young appraisers coming in, but to see property inspection waivers on certain properties, I just don't know that I'm in favor of it. I got to tell you something. I have very mixed feelings about it, and I'm a mortgage guy. Most mortgage people are jumping up and down. They want to do less appraisals. Okay, but you have to take a look at the integrity of the entire transaction.
Right. It's obviously on certain transactions.
You have to take a look
sense.
at. That's what the things that got the mortgage industry in trouble.
That's exactly it.
I don't want that creeping back in.
Yeah.
All right. I don't want it. It's only about the integrity of that transaction.
Well, one of the things we see creeping back in is these combo loans. I mean, we're seeing more and more of them. And then everyone who gets a combo loan's calling me a year or two later saying, wait, how do I consolidate these two loans?
We're going to go back to 80-20s and interest-only loans and pick your payment loans and option arms. I mean, come on.
What got us
have we
into
not
the whole
learned?
mess.
Have we not learned?
Yep.
That's my thing.
A complete recipe for trouble down
disaster.
the road. 248-539-9797 if you want to sneak a call in.
You know what you're seeing more and more of now is you're seeing people taking cash out, which is great. Consolidating, is there you call the toxic debt, the credit card debt. You're going to get to a point right now the values aren't going to keep going up and up and up and up and up. And like my wheelhouse is that whole Woodward corridor, and there's just demographically in southeastern Michigan, the average income family can't afford $300 a square foot.
But that's your bubble. That's what you talk about all the time, Alex. We talk about that's the bubble. That's what you're going to see. And I think it's great that in Midtown they're building all these places and everything like that. Corktown, they're built. They're selling for $500,000 on these lofts and everything. Sure, but sooner or later it's going to stop, and you have to be prepared. And you don't want to see that downturn again, where everybody gets in trouble. When I say everybody, what happened to our country and our housing market was the worst. It was worse.
Do you guys remember
1929?
Do you guys remember coming in here in like 2008, 9, 10, and it was just like I think it was the old studio. It wasn't this one we're in now. It was like death. Like it was so bummed. Like every day was so bummed out.
Alex, our goal is to set people up for success. We've always done it. I want people to succeed. I don't want to get the calls anymore that, hey, look, here's what happened. I got an 80-20 program or an option arm, and they told me to do, or an interest-only loan. And look what interest-only loan means. If you take out a loan for $300,000 in 10 years, you know what you owe on it? $300,000 plus interest.
Plus interest. Plus a little bit of interest, yeah.
So it's not for everybody. These are financial tools that are not for everybody. So you sit down with people and you put them in the best plan for them.
I had date night last night. Was October 7th. with Natalie out in Royal Oak.
Yeah.
You know how happy everybody was?
No,
it was
everyone's in a
like
good
so.
mood.
Everyone was like, there was not like no bad vibes whatsoever anywhere.
Well, the economy's great here in
You think
Southeast
back to
Michigan.
2008, 9, 10, you would go out, it was not, you'd be in a restaurant, you'd be like, wow, can we eat the bill, please, and now and leave? It was just, man, I'm happy. It's a good time. Let's keep it going.
All right, that music says that's another version of the Hardcore Mortgage Show. I want to thank for the callers for calling in today. Hey, be sure to call Capital Mortgage at 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. Also, send us a Facebook if you want. Like us on Facebook. Also, mortgage at, what is that? Mortgage.show at lowrateonline.com. All right, we got Pat Caputo coming up with sports. Keep it here on 97.1 The Ticket.
Hi, Harry Glantz for Capital Mortgage Funding. Rates are at historic lows, so what are you waiting for? Call 1-800-LOW-RATE and let our award-winning staff help you save money. Look, if you're looking to purchase a new home, refinance your existing home, and you want to save money, call 1-800-LOW-RATE and take advantage of these historic low rates. That's Capital Mortgage Funding, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. What are you waiting for? Call 1-800-LOW-RATE. Capital Mortgage Funding is powered by Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation, NMLS ID number 2289, Equal Housing Lender.
Back to